All right. Questions for Coach? Start with Chris Ryan.
Hey, Ime, hope all is well with you. Just after a couple days watching the Warriors here, what do you see from them, and do you see significant differences between this group and the team that you saw winning championships in San Antonio?
Obviously, the things that stand out have stood out for years. Obviously, high level shot making from 3-point line. They've added pieces. Some young guys that have stepped up over the years. And Poole adds to that mix. You've added some veterans as well to the group, but the core is the core. What they do well is shoot the ball, but I think teams can kind of overdose on that at times, and it's a lot of the little things that get them going. Basket cuts, slips of basket. You're so concerned about their 3-point shooting that they get a lot of other things, and transition is key. They've done a great job, especially in the Dallas series, offensive rebounding, and then the off-ball actions that lead to easy baskets. And so those things have been there for a while now, and it's not always about the obvious or what people think with the shooting. They make 15 threes in their wins and 11 in their losses, so it's not a huge difference. They're going to get those up regardless, and it's a lot of little things that can kind of lead you to overreacting to some of the 3-point shots and opening everything else up. I'm sorry, last part regarding the San Antonio stuff, it is a different team overall. I think with the additions, of Wiggins and Poole, it puts 4 high-level perimeter guys out there. They've had some injuries as well, and Draymond is Draymond. They'll downsize, but Looney's been really good. They're playing veterans like Porter and Belichka, so they have a lot of guys they'll go to trying to find the right combination. It's a little more perimeter based with some new additions that really have taken them to another level.
Go ahead, John.
Ime, you've spent a month playing really physical teams, and now you're going to a team that's probably more precision and finesse than that. How do you switch gears from going up against that brick wall to having to go with that speed that Golden State brings?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a change of mindset as far as that. We're the bigger team, but they are a really good defensive team as well, and do a lot of good things. It's just in a different manner. And so where we had size playing against Milwaukee, playing against Adebayo and guys like that, they technically have that same size, but they always have Green back there, who's kind of their free safety, linebacker kind of controlling the defense. Guys that have improved, Thompson obviously being back. Wiggins is playing defense at a better level than he has in the past, and even Curry has bought in some. So, depending on injuries with Peyton and certain other guys, they do have some defensive-minded guys out there, but it's going to be different. What they do is different, and the other piece is how they try to keep you off balance. Steve, who I worked with, obviously, with USA Basketball, is very open-minded, and we'll go to box and 1, triangle and 2, zones, and everything else in between to try to keep you off balance.
Brian Robb.
Hey, man, I just wanted to get a injury update with particularly with Rob with you. How did he kind of come out of Sunday's game, and are you guys hopeful that you'll have him for game 1? And how's Marcus faring too with his ankle?
Yeah, Rob's all right. He's good. He felt good. His minutes were low. Only played 14 in that game, and so we tried to keep him in the lower portion if we could. Obviously, that's beneficial for him going forward, but the day's off as well, so he should feel better in general. Getting looked at today, and we'll continue to get his treatment and rehab, and in order to get swelling down and some of the pain and mobility back. And so it's going to be an ongoing thing. Like I mentioned, he's day-to-day pretty much throughout the playoffs. Should feel better with time in between, especially with these 2 days off in between games as opposed to playing every other day. And I think going back to the Milwaukee series, we had played 17 days straight every other day. And so that's going to take a toll on you coming off of surgery. And we can keep his minutes down and get him back to feeling better. Obviously, that'll benefit us going forward. Marcus, there's no concern about that. The swelling is what it is, and that'll dissipate as time goes by. in the pain tolerance thing, he can obviously play through a lot, and he did that and played heavy minutes.
George Bilecki.
Hey, Ime, you know, we saw you after the Game 7 win. You're saying they don't hang banners for the Celtics for winning the Eastern Conference Finals. Have you seen the shift yet from your guys? I'm not sure how much you've been around your team, but from the celebration, you obviously had the plane ride home, to now the focus that it's in the finals and you're 2 days away from tipping off against Warriors.
Yeah, I think you enjoy it on the court, you know, with the presentation at the time, and it's a step for our group, for guys who had been there and not gotten over that hump and over that hurdle. So you enjoy it, obviously. But like I said, we're not hanging a banner here for that. It's a bigger picture, and I think guys' mindsets flip pretty quickly. You enjoy it, and guys relish that, and you have this time off. But even that night in the media sessions, and obviously with us in the locker room, guys are already talking about what's next and the bigger picture at hand. And so this isn't what we came to do. You enjoy it and move on pretty quickly to the task at hand.
Jared Weiss.
We didn't see a ton of it, but you guys had to deal with a lot of Miami's like elbow actions and trying to decide whether to switch up and how to deal with them slipping on those cuts. How does that help prepare you for Golden State, and what does Golden State do differently or even at a more refined level?
Some similarities with the shooters, obviously, in their off-ball actions. As I mentioned, a lot of initiating through their bigs, and these guys are flying off all over the place. And the thing you have to be even more sharp and precise about is getting to their shooters. As good as Miami was in that area and with those actions, Golden State's at another level just from the shooters and the consistency standpoint and what they've been doing for a long time. So, like I said, you add Poole to that mix. You add Wiggins, who's shooting 39% from three on the season, and obviously Thompson and Curry have been doing it at a high level forever now. And so I think some of that preparation will help us going forward, but understanding that they do have different layers to it, and I think they are even more precise off ball, getting to the 3-point shooters, but also the slips to the basket and all the easy layups that they do get, and those are overlooked at times. So we'll have our work cut out for us as far as that, but we did have some preparation by playing Miami.
Last couple of questions. We'll go Bobby Manning.
Hey, Ime. I think this group, it's been a couple different rosters, has the most wins against the Warriors since Steve Kerr's been there. What is it just about the personnel here, even in the two matchups you've had against them this year, that you think can work well to, exploit some of the things that the Warriors do? And then I'm not sure how much you look back on the last few minutes of that Game 7 and just some of the stretches of offensive stagnancy from that Heat series, but what are some of the things you're looking to do to try to shake some of those stretches where you guys get a little stagnant offensively against a great defense?
Yeah, I would say, to your second question, watching the end of the game and kind of the run they went on, obviously they went after Jason, took it out of his hands, and, they had done that at times throughout the series. And for us, it's we want to get the mix of taking the open shot, but not also, living and dying on the 3-point line, especially when you have the numbers behind it. You'd like to get some to the basket, get some layups as far as that. They're going to take it out of Jason's hands. We've seen that all year and dealt with it well at times. So we missed some really good wide open shots, and that was their goal. Jason had to go in a little bit, and they're obviously going to make others beat us. So some of the looks are great, but at the same time, you'd like to slash and make them pay a little bit more for that. And I felt we could have cut to the basket, got some more easy layups, and not just relied on the 3-point shot. So not saying we got stagnant overall. They did what they did. They took it out of his hands, and then it's up to us, guys behind it, to make the plays. A little bit of rushed situations where we could have used some time on the clock and taken it out. They were pressuring us and speeding us up a little bit. So you got to be conscious of time and score situation. And I think we could have handled that. The charge they got on Jason, they sped us up, up 5 with about 50 seconds to go. You'd like to pull that out, milk some clock, and, take some time off the clock when it's in your favor at that point. And I'm sorry, tell me your first question again.
Just this team's personnel, they've been able to win more games than anyone against Golden State in recent years.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into the past and what they did. I know this year we played them well. You know, obviously, in the last game at their place, even in the game early in the season, they jumped out, and Curry had a big first quarter. Wiggins had a big second quarter. But what we do have is size and versatility on the wings, and I think you know, with who we are defensively against a really good offensive team, the benefit is having obviously Marcus and Jason, Jalen on the perimeter, but as well, you know, you have bigs that they can't just pick on. Al, Rob, Grant, and everybody else, you know, that we do use. It's a kind of a perfect storm as far as a matchup with all the offensive talent they have, the defensive talent we have, and I think our size and versatility bodes well for us as far as that. So I feel confident with a lot of guys guarding different players for them, where as opposed to other teams where, you know, whether you look at the Dallas series or others, they were trying to pick on certain people. And so we feel comfortable as far as that. And I think that benefits us defensively.
Final question, Matt Valtor.
Steve Kerr said yesterday that he thought that one of the advantages that his group had was the fact that so many of their guys and him had been in the finals before and had experienced kind of all the other things around it and the distractions and the other demands on time. You've been there as a coach before, even though your players haven't. Are you calling on some of that experience that you have to kind of try to use that experience to help your guys kind of go through this the first time?
Yeah, I could say, you know, being there, I know what's going on, and we've already shared some of those stories, as well as some of the other coaches on my staff that have been there and won championships. And so, from that standpoint, it is what it is. We'll have, you know, some meetings with the group and talk about those things. But I think in general, we have a very mature group, especially with our younger guys. But Al and Marcus and our veterans are always very level-headed and you know, keeping us in line as far as that. And then I'm not really worried about Jason, Jalen, and the younger guys that haven't been on the stage. They, like I said, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals multiple times and took that step. So we know what's in front of us. We know what we're here to play for. And, you know, I don't think any of our guys are awed or, you know, intimidated by the moment at all. And so we understand what it is. We know the opponent in front of us. And for us, as always, this year, it's been business as usual, going on the road, not fazed by that at all. And so we're really looking forward to it. So not a lot of anxiousness and nervousness. And we have this time that we'll take advantage of as far as rest and preparation and be ready to go by game one.
All right, wrap it up right there. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.